Welcome to the fairest show in television. First tonight, the East Palestine train disaster will happen again and again and again. It brings us no pleasure, of course, to report that, but it will happen, despite what all the politicians say and despite what the railroad says. All the video of dead fish in the streams, which of course is leading to major questions about the drinking water that exists today. Senator from Ohio wouldn't answer whether he would drink the water in East Palestine today. All the video of hazmat crews walking around like Palestine is Chernobyl. Never mind, the same hazmat crews now tell everybody to go back home because they and their hazmat suits are leaving and everything is allegedly safe. Sadly, there will be another East Palestine.
Can't we get answers from them? Today I get a phone call that they didn't feel safe.
Exhibit 1, the railroad responsible for the crash, Norfolk Southern, didn't even show up at last night's town hall filled with angry residents. Nothing quite says you don't care like contaminating an entire town with cancer-causing chemicals and then not showing up. Exhibit 2, this has happened before, many times before, and nothing changes. 2017, a 121-car Norfolk Southern train derailed in Pell City, Alabama. There was another hazardous material release there. 2020, a 230-car Norfolk Southern train with 78 hazmat cars derailed in Rocky Gap, West Virginia. 3 of the hazmat cars were damaged. The company chalked it up to the rail cars not being put in the proper order. Most notably, in 2005, a Norfolk Southern train derailment in Grantville, South Carolina, left 9 dead and 550 hospitalized. The railroad paid a $35 million worth of expenses and a $4 million fine. That combined $39 million represents less than 4% of their 2005 profit. In other words, the railroad simply doesn't care because they don't have to. Derailments and chemical spills are the cost of doing business. In fact, another Norfolk Southern train just derailed today in Detroit, and yes, it was carrying hazardous materials. They don't care. And if a few families in East Palestine or Detroit get sick, it's unfortunate, but it is not worth, in a dollars and cents term, changing how they, the railroads, it's not just Norfolk Southern, how they, the railroads, do business. If a few families are sick, well, it's unfortunate, but we have factored that cost in to our balance sheet effectively, into our income statement. Here's Desiree Walker from last night's show. One of Norfolk Southern's train cars is currently in her backyard.
We don't feel safe here. I have 2 babies here, and I worry about their health. With us being exposed to the toxins and the chemicals, I don't think we're safe.
Whatever Norfolk Southern pays to Desiree and other folks in East Palestine, it won't matter much to Norfolk Southern or their shareholders. One Wall Street analyst estimates a total cost of $50 million. That is 1.5% of their 2022 profit. A penny and a half on a dollar. To be fair, America's economy runs on the rails, literally, from crude oil to coal, cars to Chinese imports, grain for cereal to the milk that goes on top of the cereal. So we need the railroads. But they make money by lobbying the safety regulators for laxer safety regulations. More rail cars per train. The one that derailed had 151 cars. And despite carrying vinyl chloride, the tanker cars didn't have to have double walls. Those cost more, but they don't leak after a derailment. Put it a different way. Until these crashes, and more importantly, the ensuing misery of towns like East Palestine, cost the railroads more than 1.5% of their profits, the crashes will keep happening. The railroads will not show up to the town halls. Kids will keep getting sick from the hazardous chemicals. The EPA will tell everybody just go home because all their testing says everything's fine. The media will eventually leave town and move on to another story. Family farms will close because soil contamination. And in a few years or perhaps decades, we will start hearing about cancer clusters in these towns. And the railroads will keep making billions, perhaps tens of billions of dollars a year. Rene Rocha is now with us, attorney with Morgan & Morgan, who just filed suit against Norfolk Southern. It's good to see you. We appreciate it. The only people perhaps more cynical than journalists are lawyers. I say that affectionately. Did I get anything wrong?
No, I couldn't have said it much better myself. I think you hit the nail on the head. Unfortunately, everything that this company has done is screaming loud and clear that they do not care about these people. They don't care about the towns that they run through. They don't care if they derail a car. They just flipped another one today.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.